Welcome back to an episode of We Are in front of the galaxy map yet again. And it's time for us to do some, well, side missions if we can, or actually do the Geth thingamajig right there on Rannoch. Save the Admiral, shut down Geth server. Well, I mean, yeah, I did say that we are gonna do like the whole Rannoch situation. The thing is, every time you do get side missions, like there's a certain window of opportunity for them to be finished, and if you continue on main missions also, there can actually be certain situations where the where the side mission just completely disappears, can't actually be finished. Argos Row, that's new. Okay, so looks as if the Geth have to wait a little bit, and we're going to do some side missions. Let's see, do we have anything? Argos Row is probably new, I believe. Maybe I should make a list with everything that is already at 100%. This was the far rim. Ninmar cluster, for example. Argos Row is definitely new. Let's stop over there. Let's see if we can find something. Something's weird about this environment. Something's really weird. Definitely. So let's see, we got Theia. Theia is a large gas giant with traces of chlorine and sodium in its atmosphere. It also has a significant amount of water vapor in the clouds of its upper atmosphere. Theia was struck by an asteroid at least 12 kilometers in diameter within the last 100 years. The superheating caused by the impactor's atmospheric passage created a large bank of vicious storms along the equatorial band. How many do we have? There's an outer planet that we still need, and Medgos. That name definitely rings true. Medgos is a large terrestrial planet with an atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Its hot surface is mainly composed of nickel with deposits of potassium and heavy metals. It is a mineralogical treasure trove with concentrated heavy elements constantly being brought to the surface by volcanic activity. Medgos is inhospitable and dangerous, and expeditions must be well prepared to survive any length of time with its high mass, heat-trapping clouds, and constant volcanic venting. Medgos seems well on its way to becoming a Venusian pressure cooker world. Canrum. Canrum is a small rocky world with a trace atmosphere of methane and krypton. Its surface is mainly composed of magnesium and silicates with deposits of carbon. Canrum was the site of the warlord Shiagu's defeat by Turian peacekeeping forces during the Gorgon rebellions. While this band was not especially powerful, Shiagu was a female warlord and one of the few remaining fertile females at that. She had, through viciousness and cunning, parlayed her unique value into a position of power. Gorgon males competed for the right to join her band and lie with her. When Shiagu's death was announced, vengeful male Gorgon admirers near and far swore blood oaths against the participating Turian crews. In the end, several thousands of the Turian participants were killed in open combat or through assassination. To this day, many Gorgon proudly proclaim that they have the blood of Shiagu. Varmalos. Varmalos has a thick atmosphere of nitrogen and helium. Its surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of alumina with deposits of borax. The planet has an extensive network of subterranean caves formed over the millennia by volcanic processes. In these relatively cool areas, some primitive life has developed, and we don't know what it is. Ziba. Ziba is a standard Neptune-type gas giant. The upper cloud decks of its hydrogen-helium atmosphere tinted a dramatic blue by traces of methane. So, let's see. Yeah, there are Reapers here. There are Reapers here, and we are absolutely screwed. There may be a fuel station around here, but I don't know. So if something is here, those two planets don't have it. Something Shiagu, so it could be...
I found something.
Yeah. No, it's on... It's on Canrum. There's probably still more. We can't have 100% in here, I believe. What do we get? What do we... Haptic optics array. War asset. Alright. 50%. What did I say? Nothing on the planet. So we're just going to spam. Yeah, we have to get away.
Evasion successful.
Oh. Uh-oh. Gotta be kidding me.
Eluded.
Why is there nothing? There.
Faster than light jump successful.
Okay, let's get to Gorgon. 16%. That can't be right. Okay, Char Blue. A standard hydrogen helium gas giant, the methane in Char Blue's atmosphere gives it a azure hue. The Azari crew, who initially surveyed the system during Earth's 17th century, named Char Blue after a then popular soprano. The singer was renowned for her unusual skin tone, which was quite similar to that of the planet. And Camaron, first name James, is a terrestrial world with a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and argon. The surface is scorching hot, primarily composed of iron with deposits of nickel. Like, wow! Camaron is tied locked to the blue giant forever, looking into the face of the Gorgon. Oh, and the Gorgon is like some Medusa kind of thing. And war. War. Who? What is it good for? War is a terrestrial planet only known from scan data picked up by unmanned probes. Though over 76 astronomical units from the blue giant Gorgon, temperatures in War's orbit are still dangerously high. Only ships with very powerful heat radiating systems can venture that deep into the system. Fortunately, War is not a terribly interesting world. It has a thin atmosphere of nitrogen and methane, and the scorching surface is mainly composed of alumina with deposits of platinum. The world is tightly locked to War, leaving the sunward side scorching and irradiated wasteland, and the dark side a frigid and icy crust. And what about this one? Slacon. Orbiting at an unbelievable distance of 710 astronomical units, that's over 66 billion kilometers, from Gorgon, Slacon is a huge gas giant with an atmosphere tainted by methane and chlorine, and an interesting shade of green. So, nothing there it seems. And Vectra, what a cool name. Vectra is a typical hydrogen helium gas giant with traces of methane and sodium in its atmosphere. The heat of the star Gorgon is slowly blasting away the gas giant's massive atmosphere, which is visible as a long dim tail that trails behind the planet. It's kind of like a comet, pretty much. Okay, something's weird. I don't think that there's something that you can find on the outer rim though. It has to be a little bit closer to the center. There's probably some fuel station thingamajig over here also. Probably not then. Okay. There's Camaron. Looks like we are gonna get chased by Reapers afterwards. Yeah, let's see. Let's scan over here.
Signal confirmed.
We got Camaron. So, what do we get from Camaron? More war assets, yes. Any moment now. Advanced power relays. Okay. 100%. Okay. That makes it easy. Thank goodness. So, am I going to fuel up? How much do I have? 805. Okay, this one is at 33%. This one is not at 100. But okay, there's definitely a lot that we can scan afterwards, but I have a slight suspicion that there's not just 3 systems in this cluster. That's a lot. Let's just fly through this ring over here. Ah, look, there's a station there. What's this one? Pinnacle Station. Wait, don't we know that one? Can't land there. The asteroid-based Pinnacle Station was originally constructed by the Turians to function as a concealed command center during the Gorgon rebellions. It has been retrofitted as a military training facility for all high-level special operation teams employed by the Council. The station's combat simulator allows teams to train under a variety of hazardous conditions. Right next to Webinok. Webinok is a small terrestrial world with a thin atmosphere of krypton and xenon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of carbonaceous material, water, ice, and low-density silicates. Rare but concentrated ions of light metals have been deposited by asteroid impacts. One hemisphere of Webinok is covered by surface deposits of oxidized copper. Approximately 270 years ago, a Turian bulk gas transport was attacked by pirates in the Pheonix System. Damaged, it made a rough landing on Webinok. The heat of the landing melted significant quantities of surface ice and ruptured shipping containers, spilling LOX across the surface. Liquid oxygen, probably. Before this evaporated and escaped Webinok's weak gravity, it reacted to cause the widespread rust. Okay, so nothing on the outer ring. And Tuntao. Tuntao is an enormous, low-density terrestrial planet with a thick atmosphere of methane and helium. Despite being nearly 20 astronomical units from Pheonix, the star's great heat and the insulation thickness of the atmosphere make the surface surprisingly temperate. The crust is mainly composed of sodium and silicon dioxide with deposits of various light metals. While Tuntao is not habitable, the relative pleasantness of the surface conditions make it a popular location for small ships traveling through the Argos roll cluster to land for drive discharge. Intai'sei. An atmosphere similar to Earth's made Intai'sei, an early candidate for human colonization. However, prohibitively high temperatures and an arid climate have proven a hindrance to terraforming and agriculture. A few human cities were founded, but the majority of the human population on Intai'sei remains scattered across the vast deserts, operating wind farms and geological research stations. Oh, there is a fuel over there, let's remember that. We will remember that. Seul Salto. Seul Salto is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant. It has no remarkable features other than the fact that it's green. And looks kind of nice. So, what about this one? Patashi. Patashi is a sun-blasted terrestrial world whose atmosphere was blasted away millennia ago by the star Pheonix. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of iron with deposits of tin. Due to its relatively low density, Patashi is tightly locked to Pheonix. Seas of molten light metals covers much of the sun-white side. Okay, something's weird. How am I gonna get 100% in here? So we know that there's a station there.
I found something.
So now we got at least 2. So this was the whole human colonization thing. Kind of a trigger word there. Human colonization, therefore technology or living cultural things. Fossilized Kakliosaur. Oh, that's the thing. That is the life form that the Krogans need in order to ride on. But yeah, so this is Patashi. This is nothing special. Maybe there is something special on that planet though. Yeah, and then there's a Pinnacle Station. Maybe we can get something from Pinnacle Station. Let's try that. And there it is. Please don't be any more Reapers. That would be sweet. So... And there it is. Turian Spec Ops team. Yes. Righty. Oh no. No. We need to get some fuel. We need to get back. And get back. So, 38%. That's a lot of percent. Because we can... Yeah, we could scan 3 times. That's what made that thing so important. Somewhere over there is the fuel station. We're gonna get that to 100%. Almost maximum fuel, but we have to jump to a fuel station area. This one is now at 100%. Perfect. So, Hades Gamma, yada yada, nothing. Arcturus, whatever. Gorgon Intai'sei. Still don't quite understand this one though. There's Ninma Cluster, Kelston Rift, Perseus Veil doesn't count. Okay, Silean Nebula we're gonna get later, but first we are going to land on Anna's Basin. No. Maybe the Gorgon Intai'sei has a fuel station. Anna's Basin has the fuel station on the other side of the system. Oh, really weird. Okay, let's get that Nebula checked. And there we are. Wait a minute. This is a single one. So either there are Reapers here. If Reapers are coming to that system, we are screwed. So yeah, let's just check this one from the outside. Catabolo. Catabolo is a relatively large methane ammonia ice giant. Although Sion and its orbital stations offer military-grade starship fuel, commercial ships took advantage of the helium-free refineries here. Because Catabolo was relatively near to the mass relay in the system, the Reapers destroyed the infrastructure on their way to more important targets. So there is supposed to be something there. Maybe we can refuel on there. Let's see. Tropai. Aware that it only takes one weaponized asteroid to destroy the fueling station at Sion, the Asari seeded the asteroid belt in the system with a warning network of sensors and spy drones. The system's brains are service clusters at the equidistant asteroids Tropai, Lokia, and Neely, but unobstructed lines of sight are still of little use in spotting incoming Reaper ships traveling at faster than light speed. So that means there could be more in that asteroid belt. And look at this, the fuel station. It's still alive. Well, functioning. So that means there's nothing hidden here, just the stuff on Sion. And Hanalei. Early surveyors of Hanalei dismissed its resource potential, saying it had more heat than a planet needs and more argon than a galaxy would buy. As an enormous terrestrial planet buried under a merciless atmosphere of argon, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide, Hanalei hosted only small orbital stations that were primarily scientific in nature. The facilities have since been destroyed by the Reapers. Good. So, can I... should I scan? There's nothing there. Okay, no Reapers are...
Signal confirmed.
No Reapers are coming, but that's weird. Isn't the system supposed to be full of Reapers? Dr. Jelize. And 100%. Perfect. So why is it that we have a mission over here? You can probably land, right? Yeah. This garden world claims to military fame. We're going to read this one once we land. But first, we are going to check the war room with all of those assets that we got. awful lot of assets, awful lot of side missions prepared, which is perfect. I think the Horsehead Nebula also has some more scanning for us to do. And I wanted to look into why certain systems don't have percentages. So maybe the reason is now that we have the side or some more side missions, we can actually finish that and therefore get the percentage up and running. So, sorry stuff. Sorry, science team, and you respect no, that's not it. Dr. Jelize there. Dr. Jelize, the Asari scientist found on the research station in the Silean Nebula, was working on a paper that argued nanocircuitry could solve complex behavior problems in commercial VIs. The doctor's theoretical work seems to be supported by data in the Crucible's blueprints. She now heads the department building the weapons circuit boards. Nanocircuitry could solve complex behavioral problems in commercial VIs. So, nanocircuitry. How would that make VIs more viable? In this case, nano stuff just makes it smaller and faster, or whatever. Yeah. Maybe this is it. The fact that there are even smaller circuits on the circuits makes it much more special. So, the Crucible Advanced Power Relays. The advanced power relays are 15 kilometers of insulating wire connected to switch boxes that regulate the energy flow. Installing the relays in the Crucible will prevent catastrophic power surges from overloading its systems. Let's hope so. Haptic Optics Array. The Haptic Optics Array is an experimental computer user interface. Cortical implants allow users to see screens projected in front of them. A user's eye movements are tracked, syncing to hand gestures as they sift through data. While disorienting at first, people using the optics array report increased efficiency, and the technology has been adapted by several dozen engineers for use on the Crucible. Okay, haptic optics array. Cortical implants allow users to see cortic. Is this a brain implant or is this an eye implant? Could be weird. Because cortical, kind of like cortex brain, right? So in this case, they see this in their brains, in their minds. Very cool technology. It kind of feels like Minority Report, like wishy-washy, like screen movement kind of thing. But if you have to interact with this in a human kind of sense, then it's not as fast as it should be. Because it has to have its own little circuit in the brain where it automatically does its thing without you taking huge part in decision making. So it's an automated thing that happens in the brain. Yeah, that would be much better. But in this case, putting this into the conscious part, I don't know if it's actually a good thing or not. So, because you could overload that. At least the scientists can use that, but not the ones on the front line. So, Turians are not this flotilla. The Spec Ops team, that's the one that we got. Guard Captain Vidinos heads a special operations team that distinguished itself in the war on Tetris, tracking down Turian separatist leaders opposing the hierarchy. During the war, the separatists rammed a ship traveling at FTL speeds into the heart of Tetris' capital. Vidinos' unit experienced their worst fighting in the Diluvian wildlands, unwelcoming marshes with a population deeply sympathetic to the separatist cause. Wonderful. So we almost reached 6,000 units of war assets, which is great. So afterwards we could maybe finish something on the Citadel.
Commander Shepard.
I have to actually check in and make sure that I don't by accident get to a point of no return. So yeah, that's one thing. I think after the KEF I definitely have to check the Citadel and then have to see if there are like more main missions or whatnot. Alright. So, for now, let's see how much more we can actually read while we're at it. Codex is empty. Weapons and armor and equipment. Okay. Body armor. The stuff that stays with us for the whole game is now described at the end, pretty much. Modern combat hard suits have a triple canopy of protections, shields, armor, and self-repair. The outermost layer is created through kinetic barrier emitters, which detect objects incoming at a high rate of speed and generate deflecting shields, provided by they have enough energy in their power cells. If a bullet or other incoming object gets past the barrier, it contends with the more traditional body armor. A sealed suit of non-porous ballistic cloth provides kinetic and environmental protection, reinforced by lightweight composite ceramic plates and in areas that either don't need to flex or require additional coverage, such as the chest and head. When the armor is hit by directed energy weapons, the plates boil away or ablate rather than burning the wearer. The last level of protection is provided by the suit's microframe computers, whose input detectors are woven throughout the fabric. These manage the self-healing system, which finds rents in the fabric and, assuming any such tear would wound the flesh underneath, seals the area off with sterile, non-conductive medigel. This stanches minor wounds and plugs holes in the suit that could prove fatal in vacuum or toxic environments. Soldiers are not always fond of the squish skin that oozes gel on them at a moment's notice, but fatalities have dropped sharply since the system was implemented. A self-healing body armor, very interesting. Very weird kind of feeling on the skin though, kind of understand why they don't like that. But at least it keeps them as safe as possible. But the thing is, does it repair the body armor? No. So you have to repair the body armor afterwards, or at least have a machine that takes care of that, dismantles it and makes a new body armor afterwards. So that's the kind of thing. Like it's kind of a living thing, this body armor. So anyway, kinetic barriers. Kind of the same thing. Kinetic barriers, commonly called shields, provide protection against the most mass accelerator weapons. Whether on a starship or soldier's suit of armor, the basic principle remains the same. Kinetic barriers are repulsive mass effect fields projected from tiny emitters. These shields safely deflect small objects traveling at rapid velocities. This affords protection from bullets and other dangerous projectiles, but still allows the user to sit down without knocking away their chair. The shielding afforded by kinetic barriers does not protect against extremes of temperature, toxins, or radiation. Anyway, Mass Effect, small arms, and tech armor we're gonna read up in the next one. Until then, like and subscribe, of course, and ta-ta!